Good morning, church. Today we are going to read from the book of Genesis, chapter 22, from verse 1 to verse 18. Sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, Abraham, here I am, he replied. Then God said, take your son, your only son whom you love, Isaac. Go to the region of Moriah, sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain. I will show you. Early the next morning, Abraham got up, loaded his donkey. He took with him 2 of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out for the place God had told him about. On the third day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to his servants, stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there. We will worship and we will come back to you. Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and placed it on his son Isaac, and he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the two of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father, Abraham, Father. Yes, my son, Abraham replied. The fire and wood are here, Isaac said, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham answered, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. And the two of them went on together. When they reached the place God had told him about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand, took the knife to slay his son, but the angel of the Lord called out to him from heaven, Abraham, Abraham, here I am, he replied. Do not lay a hand on the boy, he said. Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son. Abraham looked up, and there in a thicket he saw a ram caught by its horn. He went over and took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the place, the Lord will provide, and to this day it is said, on mountain of the Lord it will be provided. The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time and said, I swear by myself, declares the Lord, that because you have done this and you have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and through your offspring all nations on earth will be blessed because you have obeyed me. So here in this chapter, Abraham is tested famously, and because he passed this test, he's called the father of faith. So Abraham was tested. He was told to sacrifice his only son, and he did not withhold his own son. He took the son because he knew God. He knew because, as you can see, when Isaac asked him that, Father, the fire and wood are here, but where is the lamb of the burnt offering? And Abraham answered, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. So he had the faith that God will himself provide. Yet he took his son, and he took the knife, and he was about to slay his son. But God stopped him. He told, do not lay your hand on the boy. So Abraham was tested, but it was God who provided the lamb in the end. And when you see in the New Testament, when John the Baptist is talking about the lamb of God in John chapter 1 verse 29 and verse 26, he also must be having the same Passover lamb in mind when from verse who was led to slaughter in chapter 53 of Isaiah verse 7. Another significant word that came to my mind is when Lord stopped him and acknowledged that he knows that that do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son. And again in verse 16, and I swear by myself, declares the Lord, that because you have done this and not withheld your son, your only son. Here the Septuagint translates this word as beloved. In Greek it is called agapetos, and which reoccurs, the same word reoccurs at the baptism of Jesus and at the transfiguration. The beloved son, that is the only son, God is acknowledging Jesus at the baptism, and the same son whom Abraham was told to sacrifice, but God stopped him. But at the Calvary, at the cross, God did not stop and slayed his own son in order for the world to be saved, and God did provide. So Jesus is the actually true and better Isaac, who was not just offered up by his father on the mount, but was truly sacrificed for us all. While God said to Abraham, "Now I know you love me, because you did not withhold your son, your only son whom you love from me." Now we can also say to God, "Now we know you love us, because you did not withhold your son, your only son, whom you love from us." Romans chapter 8 verse 32 puts it very aptly. It says, "He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, will he not also give us all things with him?" So, in this test of Abraham, although Abraham was told to sacrifice his own son, but it is Lord who sacrificed. It is Lord who gave away. It is Lord who provided. So, I want to thank God for this, and remember, as in the morning we remember that even though we will be tested, but we should always remember it is Lord who always provides. It is Lord who always gives. So we can have that faith, we can have that trust. Thank you.